Hello and welcome to another episode of Hughes at 10. And I'm Graham Hughes. It's 10 o'clock. It's Sunday night. Where else could you possibly want to be? I don't know if the Sports Personality of the Year on the BBC has been announced yet. It takes like 2 hours to announce it. I don't understand. Is there only one category? Who knows what's going on? But at the end of the day, the Channel Tunnel is closed. The Channel Tunnel is closed. I'll say that again. The Channel Tunnel is closed. Right, I'm just going to get my chat up here and say hello to everybody. Hello. Hello to Alex. Hello to Too Much 77. Hello to Pete Robbins. Hello to Darren, Gaz, Chubai, Johan, Choksal. Hi. I'm sorry, my letters are really small on the screen. I'm getting old. I can't see anything anymore. Jesus. Johan, Daffyd. Hi, Daffyd. Great microphone, by the way. And also, Gaz and Pedro and Alex and Cameron. Hey, how you all doing? Oh my God, the Channel Tunnel is closed. Mental. Right, so we still haven't got a deal with the EU. But we still haven't got a deal with the EU. So no deal hasn't been officially declared. But the UK is effectively under quarantine for the next 48 hours. Nothing's getting in or out by the looks of things. I mean, it might get in, but it's certainly not getting out. So if you're a truck driver and you're bringing stuff over to Britain, you're not going to want to come here because you might get stuck here over Christmas and not be able to spend it with your family. Yes, the Channel Tunnel is closed. The Channel Tunnel is closed. I think I'm going to have to start on the beers. This is my first of the evening. I've got to let you know that now. Is there any from UK on this channel? No, probably not. Minty Sillery says, hello Elizabeth. How you doing? Also, we've got Jim Bob. We've got Rafaela. We've got Kevin there saying hi there from France. Yeah. And we've got Graham A from Waymay from Jim Bob. Hey, John Bob. I've also got Aaron Jones asking, I wonder how many Brexiteers are whining about European countries closing their borders to us. So, because of a strain of mutant called Boris Johnson, we're now locked down over Christmas pretty much everywhere. And this is just crazy. This is crazy. This is what I've been saying. Oh, don't say I told you so, Graham, but I'm going to say I've been saying for ages, and everyone's watching Hughes at 10 or Hughes Round, whatever I call it, has been here with me saying, this is mad. Why are we stopping this over Christmas? Why are we letting the kids stay in school to the end of the Christmas holidays? To the end of the Christmas term, I should say. It just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at all. It didn't make any sense a month ago. It didn't make any sense 2 months ago. And it makes sense, a lot less sense with less than a week to go till Christmas. Now, everyone's made their plans. Everyone's either got food in their fridge or hasn't got food in the fridge, depending on what their plans were for Christmas. That's all been thrown out the window now. And if you're in tier 4, because we're like Spinal Tap now as a country, basically, we've got 3 tiers, but this one goes up to 4. You can't do anything. You can't do shit. And so loads of people tried to escape from London yesterday. They had like 8 hours to get out of there. Funnily enough, Parliament rose, or broke up, on Friday. So those parliamentarians were all allowed to go back home to spend Christmas with their families because they were given a heads up, possibly. Maybe. What do you think? Do you think that I think that's probably what happened. So we've had a tweet from Michel Barnier today going like this. Basically, we're still haggling over fucking fish. Fish, fucking fish. I swear, at the end of this whole Brexit nightmare, right, should it ever end, I am never eating another fucking fish as long as I fucking live. I swear. I hate them. As I've said in other shows, if I ever saw a fish, I'd just punch them in the face. I know it's not really the fish's fault, but, you know. I can't be done for assaulting a fish, can I? Don't think so. Anyway, when's Parliament being recalled? Probably on Tuesday. Brilliant effect on your can of carling. Is it? Oh, yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I didn't even notice that. Don't sit in front of a green screen when you are... Oh, my God, that's so weird. The taste of fresh air. The taste of Liverpool air at night. That's really cool. I'm enjoying that. Okay, but watching Your Good Self and The Death of Stalin. What a great movie. Armando Iannucci, famous for The Day-to-Day, which kicked all of this off. And I think we're living in an Armando Iannucci satire. We have been since 1994. It's just got madder and madder. And Brass Eye and the Day-to-Day are basically the news now. That is the news. Right down to the ridiculousness of the way they present everything. Like, there's a great sketch in Day-to-Day where it's two diplomats and he says, oh, what do you mean by this? Oh, he's slagging you off there. Oh, I wouldn't take that, would I? And then he goes, go on, say what you really mean. War! And then it all changes and it says war in big letters and they get excited because they're going to have a war. And you're like, oh, that's funny satire, that is. But that's literally what we're trying to do at the moment with the EU, who, for some reason, half the country think are their enemies. Actually, not for some reason, because they've been told they're our enemies for the last 30 years by the 3 billionaires that own all the fucking papers. Hi, Sugar Free. That's not my name. There was a message up here. I'm just going to go back. It had lots of countries on it. I'm going to make my screen a bit brighter here. Hang on a sec. I'm going to mess things up. The list of countries, see below, banning all types of UK travel because there is a new strain. There's Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway requires negative results, Portugal, Romania, Sweden, Switzerland, and Turkey. Oh, I had to look in then. I thought one of the flags was wrong, but it's not. Very good, very good. Yes, we're banned from all these places. We literally can't leave now. We're stuck here, as I keep saying. You're not the Brexiteers. I'm not stuck here with the Brexiteers. The Brexiteers are stuck here with me. So yeah, let's have a look at what else we got here. We've got lots of evenings. Hello, evening. Right, I've got to tell you. I've got to tell you something that I've been working on for the last few days. And it's called, and I'm gonna just pop the URL into the little magic box here. It's called rejoineu.uk, right? And the idea is that we're going to rejoin the EU. And I know that sounds ridiculously simple, and I know that at the moment we are just in the maddest situation, so we possibly shouldn't be thinking about this. And I was going to leave it till the new year to launch. However, I had a bloody good idea the other day. And the bloody good idea was this. You might not think it was a good idea. I think it was a good idea because, I came up with it. But I actually stood up off the couch and went, I actually did that motion. I did a little. Anyway, so the idea is that we're going to have a march next year. And we're hoping to have it on March the 13th, right? And it's going to be the first of the rejoin marches, the first of many rejoin marches. We're going to be marching our bloody little feet off, saying we want to rejoin the EU and keeping the pressure on the arseholes in charge until, I don't know, they just spontaneously combust. That would be very helpful. But failing that, we make sure that we are not the silent majority. We make sure that they can damn well hear us. And hear me out here, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to have to raise about 5 or 6 grand in order to pay for the stage bus and the PA, and I'll have to get insurance somehow. I don't really know about this stuff. I do. And I've got to let the police know, and I've got to do all this other stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I've got to raise a few £1,000s. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of pocket trying to organise this thing. And obviously, it's going to be COVID dependent if COVID stops us doing it because of this new mutant strain is killing too many people, or we haven't got enough people vaccinated yet. We won't hold it. We'll postpone it for another time. But so instead of just asking people for money, get the begging bowl out and say, oh, can we have some money? What I thought would be funnier is if I do ask for money, but with a twist. So basically, if you go to the rejoineu.uk website, it's not rejoin.eu. Don't get that one because that's some Swedish firm that makes connectors that go between computers or something. So yeah, it rejoins them together. If you go to the site, you can nominate your least favourite Brexiteer, right? After you've donated, and on Christmas Day, I'm going to send a tweet out to literally everybody on the list who people have donated on behalf of, and they will get a little tweet or an email if they're not on Twitter, basically saying, congratulations, because of you, these people have donated, say, 50 quid or 200 quid or whatever to the fund to rejoin the EU. Happy Christmas, arsehole. Well, no, I won't swear. I'll be civil. but a bit sort of, taunting, like, ha ha ha, we're not going anywhere, and we have 73% of young people on our side, which means in a few years' time, we're going to have a huge majority, and we're going to have to go back into the EU, whatever. Whether that's England on its own, bereft of Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland, I don't know, but we will be joined. We will be joined. So if you want to pop over to the website, I'll give the email, the website name again at the end. You can donate several different amounts, or you can donate any amount. It doesn't matter. But it's all going to go towards marches. This isn't going to go towards anything else, any other mad schemes that I might come up with. This is going to go towards the Rejoin March on March the 13th, if we can go ahead with it. And if we can't go ahead with it, we just postpone it and we do it another time. Any money left over from this march will go to the next march. We're not doing the mistake that every film made in Britain does, where they make the film and then we've got some money left over from the budget. What should we do with it? I know, let's flush it down the toilet. We're not going to do that. It's going to go back into the fund for the next march, which hopefully will be a week later. I don't know. I just want to keep up the pressure on these idiots who are in charge. And the boss thing about this is, just between you and me, if we don't make enough money to be able to afford the stage bus or whatever, we can just do it anyway, really. We just turn up because we have a legal right to do so. Until Priti Patel says we don't. Hopefully she'll do that very soon. So, loads of things to talk about tonight. We have this mutant strain of the coronavirus, which is now just so... It's like 70% more contagious than the old bloody coronavirus, which is already... contagious enough. We have Julia Hartley-Brewer flying out the country going like the horrible little witch that she is. We've had Lawrence Fox. Apparently he's just got to celebrate Christmas as normal. So anyone watching this, right? Christmas Day, right? Phone up the busies. I don't know where Lawrence Fox lives. He's a cunt, so he probably lives in Islington or... No offence to Islington, Camden or somewhere. No offence to people in Camden Town. He's smelling the place up. Hampton. I don't even know where Hampton is. He probably lives there. Anyway, call up the police and go, listen, I've just heard that Lawrence Fox has got loads of people around at his house. You better go and arrest him. And then the police will go around and they'll arrest him and he'll be behind bars crying like Arthur Fowler on Christmas Day. How good would that be? That'd be amazing. Come on, stick me here. Right, what are the messages over here? Welsh sugar-free. I think that's an old message. Or does Sugar-Free just keep saying things that are awesome and I keep missing it? Sorry. The French said no before. That's a good idea. They won't like it up. Yeah, that's like Christmas Day. Congratulations. Because of you, we have raised £150 towards the fund for rejoining the EU. Perfect. By the way, the company that I've set up to do this is called Erindle Star, because I'm a massive geek. And basically, there's an evil company called Planeteer, right? So Planeteer are an evil company associated with Cambridge Analytica and all those cunts, right? And basically, they steal people's data, and they're named after the evil sphere, the evil, what's it called? The crystal ball of doom that, who has one? Sauron has one, and I think Denethor of Gondor has one. And basically, Sauron uses them to control people. Okay, so Saruman gets controlled and Denethor gets controlled. Right, so the opposite of that, kind of, in the Lord of the Rings Legendarium, is Erindle Star, which is the light of Erindle Star is used by Frodo to scare off Shelob. Oh no, yes, Frodo, yes, to scare off Shelob, the big spider at the end. That's why it's called that. So just in case you were wondering, yes, I'm a massive geek. Yes, I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt. Why am I wearing a Star Wars t-shirt? Because The Mandalorian was freaking awesome. Oh my God. That was just like the best bit of television I'd seen in so long. And then I just watched his Dark Materials, which also was freaking awesome. So please, although 2020 has been the worst year ever, at least we can say we had The Mandalorian and we had his Dark Materials. Yes. Back to the news. The World Health Organization say they have no evidence that the UK that is any more contagious. Right, okay. Well, if you say so. You better tell people that. It's sedation now. I agree, sugar-free. Is everyone just saying I agree, sugar-free? Or am I just seeing the same message over and over again? Lol. Rafaela says, is there a new deadline? The one today passed. Yeah. Another deadline passed. But there was a deadline last week, wasn't there? And the week before, that was a deadline back in June. Yeah, I like this quote by Douglas Adams, who wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He said, I love deadlines. I love the whistling noise they make as they go by. Yeah, there is no real deadline until January the 1st. January the 1st is the big deadline. And until then, anything can happen. Well, not anything, but I still hold to my belief that Boris Johnson desperately wants a deal. And he will leave it till the 11th hour, the 59th minute of the 11th hour. No, that'd be too late, actually. It has to be the 10th hour. It has to be the 59th minute of the 10th hour, because obviously we run on European time, which is an hour ahead. But yeah, at the 11th hour, he will say, okay, we're going to have this wonderful new situation in which we are having an interim period, or the implementation period, or the fuck about period for a little bit. He'll give it a name. And he'll say, it's okay. It's just for a little while until all the new things are put into place. And that will be a window of a month, or maybe up to 6 months, or maybe up to 6 years, who knows, in which nothing's going to change really with the EU while we get things ratified and things signed on the dotted line and all that jazz. That's what I think is going to happen. I might be wrong. I've been wrong before, but the way he's acting, it doesn't make me feel like he really wants no deal. Because if he really wanted no deal, he wouldn't have been calling up the leaders of the other European countries last week going, "Give me hello, can I speak to Angela, please?" Not that Boris Johnson speaks like that, but if he did, no one would give him any respect whatsoever, which would be good. Moving swiftly on, perhaps the UK will slowly and quietly make trade concessions with the EU over the next few years. Not as good as rejoin, but better than nothing. That's from GPAN62. Yeah, I'm no doubt that they will. What looks like going to be the deal? It's going to be like this. It's going to say, okay, we are going to say that we are going to... we're not going to diverge from EU standards straight away, okay? But if we do, then the EU has a right to block that particular commodity or item, goods, service, whatever it is. Well, not block it, but put a tariff on it. So you have tariff-free trade as long as you keep to our standards. And if we put our standards up, you have to put your standards up as well, or we'll put a tariff on you. So the EU is basically going to control everything that we make, which is fine with me, because the EU has high standards, and I want everything we make to be of high standard, don't you? Doesn't everybody? And I want the people who work on it to be, paid enough money. And I want environmental considerations to be taken into consideration. That's what I want. So, yeah, I'm not bothered about that. So, realistically, that's the deal. Then we get a free trade deal with the EU. If they change the rules or we change the rules, then and we don't keep up or whatever, then they'll slap a tariff on whatever thing it is. And it might be something that we don't make. It might be something that we don't care about. It might be like, oh, wait, we can circumvent these rules on olives that we grow in the UK, because we don't grow any olives here. But then, you see, you might think that's all right, but then no British import or export of business could bring in olives from Greece and then sell them in the EU, because they wouldn't get the same access to the single market, because we would have diverged in standards. Although, if you bought them off Greece, I suppose they've already hit the standards, but then why would you buy stuff secondhand off someone from Britain, from Greece, when you could just buy them from Greece? I don't know. Anyway, so EU is locking down the UK from the outside due to new COVID. Yes, that's from Donald. I don't know if it is just because of COVID. I just think it's because, have you seen the UK for the last 4.5 years? Christ, it's been embarrassing. I did a naughty tweet before. I said Brexit, the tragic story of a country that tried to suck its own cock and broke its neck in the process. And I think that's the name of the book I'm going to give about Brexit, because it just sums it up. And when I had to actually write the book, that's it. That's all. That's what Britain's done. Right there, and within one sentence, summed up what Brexit is all about. So you can use that if anyone asks you from abroad and says, hey, why did Britain, why did they vote to shoot themselves in their own cock? And you're like, well, this is why. Sorry, I meant foot. Both works. Sugar Free says, I wonder if they've done this tier 4 mutant virus to test out no deal. Well, yeah, they've shut things off to France. So we can't send anything to France anymore. I mean, Boris Johnson did famously say, fuck business. Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, 3 wives, I think, 17 mistresses, 5, 6, 7 children. We don't know. He's a fucking slut. But he's a rich slut, so we can, like him. He's just like us, really, except really fucking rich and an absolute fucking sociopath. Transparent beer can, yes. If we have a UK to rejoin the EU, everyone will have to get over their pound fetish, including some on the rejoin side, and get on board with joining the euro. The pound days will soon be over. That's from RC. Well, RC, I have a great idea for this, right? Because honestly, if we move to the euro, I wouldn't weep. I would not weep. However, a lot of people in Britain are very emotionally invested in the pound. So, what you do is you just make a pound worth a euro. That's what you do. You just make it worth a euro. So everyone can have a nice picture of the Queen or Prince Charles. It's going to be King Charles in their wallet in 10 years' time. And they can walk around with it and go, oh, I've got this great picture of Prince Charles. You know, if you're caught short and you really need a wank or something, I don't know. You got loads of pictures of Prince Charles in your wallet, and you can pay for them, and that's great. But £1 is worth €1, and it's pegged. So the pound goes up. Sorry, the euro goes up, the pound goes up. So and that'll work, because most of the people who would object to losing the pound probably wouldn't notice or care. Which is one of the things was suggested about fucking Brexit. We should just told people we had Brexited, and they would have gone, great. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's changed? Nothing. It's great, isn't it? But the EU aren't telling us what to do anymore. Okay, cool. Ooh, go about your business, go to the shops, go to work, come home, watch Coronation Street. Everything goes on as normal. And we're at the EU. Yeah, of course we are. And if somebody's like, how come we just had these European elections then? Oh, no. There's just a figment of your imagination. Don't believe what your ears and eyes tell you. Don't believe them. And the people who are a bit like that probably will go, oh yeah, that's a point. I am a bit of an idiot, so I'm not going to believe what I actually see and hear out my own face. Lol, I said they missed their foot and shot themselves in the head in a YouTube video, and someone replies Adolf a lot. Lol. Adolf spelled with a PH. Ray Smythe says, Smith or Smythe, I don't know, says, a friend of mine has said truck drivers need a crap to get from the UK to France. It's the Kent Regional Access Pass. Now, obviously, Kieran was on the show a week and a half ago on Hughes Round, and he would have been on tonight, but his phone's buggered, and he can only have it on speakerphone, and if you call me up, his kid will be awake. So he might talk to me tomorrow. But Kieran is brilliant, because whatever happens down at the ports, down at like Kent or anything like that, I always get a message off Kieran like half an hour before it comes on the BBC website. It's like really cool. It reminds me of in 2011 when the protests were going on in Egypt in Tahrir Square. And I have friends in Egypt texting me what was happening. And then half an hour later, it would come on the news site of BBC or ABC or CNN or whatever. But yeah, I've had a load of messages off him tonight. I've had the what about the Channel Tunnel closing, which I got, like I say, half an hour before the BBC picked it up. But last night I got a brilliant one, which was that the Kent Road access permit, the crap, it's on the government website at the moment. So I think it's like hgv.gov.uk or something like that. And you can apply for one of these permits, right? But the thing is, right, this is where it gets good. The thing is that you can type in anything as your registration number, and it'll go through, and it'll go, access granted, and it'll give you a nice little QR code, and it'll say, registration number, bollocks to Brexit, or Boris Johnson is a cunt, and that'll actually be your registration number, in case you need to go into Kent anytime soon. They're letting just anyone in. The problem is, the more you move, the sadder in Bev. What? The more you talk, the sadder in Bev? What? Sorry, I don't mean to make you sad. How about Scotland? Scotland's going its own way. That's what Scotland's doing. It's going, bye, see you later, losers. And Keira Knightley, not Keira Knightley, the other one, Keir Starmer, tomorrow is doing this big speech in Scotland. He's going to be like, hey, Scottish people, I love you, really. And they're going to be like, yeah, fuck off. No, it's over. It's over, mate. You left it too late. You left it too late. It's like that song by Baby Blue at the end of Breaking Bad. I guess I left you hanging on too long. You know? I've only got myself to blame. Yeah, well, that's what we did. So basically, we jibbed off Scotland, ignored it for ages, took it for granted. I went, oh, but Tony Blair was born in Scotland. The Gordon Brown was Scottish. So you know, we're mates, aren't we? And they were like, we've lived under Tory rule now in Scotland for 10 years. And you're dragging us out of the biggest and most successful trading union in the world against our will. You're telling us there's going to be fucking food shortages. Yeah, I think we're going. I think we're gone. I think we packed our bags. We're just waiting to go out the door. Oh, no, but England's going to lock the door. Westminster's going to bolt the door and go, oh, no, you can't leave because you had a once-in-a-lifetime referendum. And it's like, don't remember that being in law. Yeah, it wasn't. And the Tories love doing it. They fucking love doing this. They did it with the EU referendum. It's a once-in-a-lifetime referendum. It's legally binding. It wasn't legally binding. It was advisory. It was always advisory. It's the will of the people. Hang on. 17.4 million people voted for it. Yeah. Okay. So, what's the population of the United Kingdom again? 66.6 million? Oh, okay. Yeah. See how that's a majority of the people of the country. Actually, it's about 27% of the population of the country. And 25% voted against it. So, what the fuck? Anyway, talks have extended. Yes, new thing, news from, I don't know, it's just disappeared. From somebody saying the talks have been extended. Yeah, as we knew they would be, because they're going to keep going. They're going to keep going to the 11th hour. And then it will be, we're going to do this bodge thing for the next few months. But it's going to be shit. It's going to be really shit. And I hope they hold Boris Johnson's feet to the fire. But they won't. I keep fantasizing about this is how sad my life has become. I used to fantasize about much better things. I keep fantasizing about being the person to actually give Boris Johnson a load of shit in Prime Minister's Question Time. You know, you got to submit the questions in advance. So just fucking lie. Just say you're going to ask one thing and then ask something completely different. Ask him how many fucking children he's got. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to take him to task. Not just about like the fact that we didn't lock down early enough. How about a month before that, eh? How about the fact that we knew how bad things were at the end of January and did fuck all about it through the whole month of February? And we kept the airports open. And I believe the airports are still fucking open. So get this, right? If you're from London, and correct me in the comments here if I'm wrong. If you're from London, right, you can't see your mum and dad at Christmas, right, because of COVID. But if you live in another country, you can fly home and see them for Christmas. So long as they live in the north. Work that one out. What's that 666? It's the mark behind my ear. If the Scots leave, then what's left of the UK can kiss goodbye to being a permanent member of the UN Security Council. That's from the Freckle Puny, and you're absolutely right. There are 5 full-time members of the UN Security Council. There's 193 members of the United Nations, and only 5 of them are permanent members on the Security Council. There's a couple more seats that revolve different people. But the 5 are France and Britain and the US and Russia and China. Unfortunately, tends to happen. China's not going to make any motions or any kind of resolutions for anything that's going to be pro-democratic. And that was really Russia, to be honest with you. But Russia's not going to do anything that's going to clamp down on corruption around the world. And America's not going to do anything that really clamps down on unbridled capitalism. Let's just have everything, own everything. I noticed this evening that the McDonald's ad, the new McDonald's ad for Christmas, actually features the song Forever Young, not the Bob Dylan one, but a different one by the Afterlights or something. I forgot what they're called. But the lyrics literally are, do you really want to live forever? This is a McDonald's ad. McDonald's is responsible for hardening the arteries of millions of people around the fucking world. And they literally have an advert that goes, do you really want to live forever? Have a fucking burger. Yeah! And a heart attack. Anyway, back to the Security Council. So, the Security Council has a veto over anything that the UN wants to do. So whenever the UN all gets together and says, listen, we should really have words about Russia. Russia's invaded Georgia. It's invaded Ukraine. It's annexed vast swathes of the country and murdered a lot of people. And blown up an airliner and done a lot of horrible shit things like, I don't know, basically get involved in British politics and help some kind of fraudulendum, so we leave the EU, which leaves us pretty much powerless in the world. Maybe, I don't know, piss off the Americans by interfering in their elections in 2016 and getting elected a fucking clown who, when he was elected, the Parliament of Russia, the Duma, stood up and applauded. Well done, Trump, well done, we love you. And we've found out that since March, they've been hacking the shit out of America. They have been hacking the motherfucking shit out of America. Like, America is hacked. It's hacked to death. Everyone's hacked. You get up in the morning, you've been hacked. You go to the toilet, you've been hacked. You brush your teeth, you've been hacked. And to which Trump responded, get this is the same thing that he said when the leader of the Russian opposition was poisoned on a plane earlier this year. He said the same thing. He said, well, it might have been China. It might have been China. He says China, funny, doesn't he? China. It might have been China. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Security Council. It's China, Russia, US, France, and Britain. And of those countries, France is the least worst, I think, in terms of just, oh my God. Anyway, but good news. Right, let's have some good news for a moment before I go back into the comments. Biden has said there's no time to lose with the environmental catastrophe, the climate emergency that we are seeing right now. He said there's no time to lose. So brilliant. And he's actually put someone who's Native American and he in the EPA, I think. And he's also put as head of the EPA is someone, a person of colour, someone who, if they're confirmed by the Senate, but they have to be confirmed by the Senate. This is the thing. There's still an election to go on. There's an election on January the 5th, I think, in Georgia. And whoever wins the two elections in Georgia, if the Democrats win both of them, then they take control of the Senate. So they will have control of the House of Representatives. They will have control of the Senate, so the lower house and the upper house. And they will also have control of the presidency, which means they can actually fucking change things. If they don't win both of those seats in Georgia, then the Republicans stay in charge of the Senate, and what they can do in the Senate is just block everything. Remember those guys in Lemmings who used to stand there like this, and people used to walk into them, and the only way to get rid of them was to blow them up or dig under them? Yeah, basically blockers. That's what they're going to be. They're going to be blocking anything that President Biden tries to do. So we really, 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 really need them to lose. We need them to lose. We need them to lose. Now, looking at the polls, it's like, wow, they're like fucking 8 points ahead. Yeah, so was Biden in Ohio and Florida. So I don't really trust the polls. Not the Polish people. I love the Polish people. They're lovely people, except for the people in government who are pricks. But yeah, most of the Polish people I know are... Sorry, all the Polish people I know are great, and some that I don't know, but are in politics, are twats. But that's just the story around the world, isn't it? Most people who get involved in politics probably shouldn't. Anyway, back to Plum Duff here. The lockdown could last months. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Yeah. I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, it could. Trump is heavily compromised. I don't think he is. I just think he's a twat. I don't think they've got any compromat on him. I just think he's an arsehole, and he's like, he just loves Putin. It's the only thing that gets him hard these days. You know, Melinda or Melina or whatever the fuck his wife's name is. She doesn't get him off. Do you know what I mean? He's got to think about a nice strong man, bare-chested, on a horse. That's what gets Trump going. You know, that's what gets him in the mood. Sorry for putting that image in your head there, but you know, if you head on over to Putin4Trump.com, you'll see an erotic story between Trump and Putin that some sick bastard has written in Russian. You can use Google Translate to translate it into English and see what goes down. But the tagline in it is from cold war to hot loving. So you can probably guess what the outcome of that is. Oh, some other news as well. I mean, this really shouldn't matter. This shouldn't matter in the way that when someone comes out as gay to their parents, they shouldn't go, oh my God, oh. They should just go, oh, okay. Have you got a boyfriend? Have you got a girlfriend? Like a normal person. But Eddie Izzard, who has dressed and acted like a woman since the 80s. So basically, all the time I've known Eddie Izzard, she's been acting like a woman. But now she's decided overnight that she's going to be a woman. Completely out of the blue, that was. You know, like the guys who did the Matrix movies. How dare they? How very dare they? Anyway, so there was lots of pearls to be clutched on Twitter last night. It was like, I know the world's going to shit, and I know that 1.7 million people have died of this fucking plague, but Eddie Izzard she asked to be presented at an awards show that no one fucking watched as a she. And it goes back to this thing of like, oh my God, how many people are out there just absolutely freaking out about what other people are doing? You know, just like absolutely losing their fucking mind over what's happening to other people who they don't know and they don't care about, and no one's getting hurt, no one's getting injured, no one's getting blown up, no one's getting slapped around. Yeah. Whereas leaving the EU and the government's cack-handed response to coronavirus affects me. It affects my family. It affects my fucking friends. It affects everyone watching this and leaving lovely messages about how great Liverpool is. I see Liverpool on your can. Yeah, it affects all of us. So this is something worth talking about. It's something worth freaking out about. But someone's sexuality, someone's status, their gender status, oh my God, fuck off, Grandad. Leave it. Just fucking leave it, all right? If they want to do that, it's fine. It's fine. Doesn't hurt anyone. Just live and let live. Jesus Christ. Should independent stage a coup? That's a joke. That shouldn't be a joke. That should actually be what happens. Independent Sage, for anyone who doesn't know, is a group that's been set up. Mike Galsworthy of Scientists for EU and NHS for People's Vote and March for Change. He has been involved in this, and basically it's a scientific advisory group made up of independent people who are scientists and know what they're talking about, and they do regular videos, and they are so much more on the ball than the government. They're probably echoing what the actual sage say behind closed doors, but we don't get to see that. All we get is okay, how do we polish this? How do we spin this? Spin. But what essentially has happened this weekend is Boris Johnson, because he's a fucking fucknut, has ruined Christmas. He hasn't cancelled it, because obviously we're still going to have Christmas, but he has fucking ruined it for so many people because we made plans, because that fucknut said, oh, it's all right, you can see each other for 5 days. And a month ago, people were like, that's probably a bad idea. 2 months ago, people were like, that's probably a bad idea. Before we even thought of it, people thought it was a bad idea. And it comes round to it, and it's a few days before fucking Christmas, and he drops it. Why set us up to fail, Boris Johnson? Why do that? How cruel do you want to be? You know what I mean? It's like saying to a little kid, oh, you know, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I want a hoverboard. Okay, great, I'll get you a hoverboard for Christmas. And then on fucking Christmas Eve, showing them the hoverboard, then smashing it up with a baseball bat and going, ha ha ha, you little twat. That's what you get for not being rich. And then jumping in your fucking helicopter and pissing off to the island of Capri for the actual holiday you get to have because you're the fucking Prime Minister and you're a fucking millionaire and you were born into money and you went to fucking Eton like every fucking cunt. Not everyone who went to Eton was a cunt, by the way. Just every cunt went to Eton. No, well, private school. They're all the same to me. I'm a bit racist about this. You know, people say they all look the same to me. Yeah, everyone who went to public school, Well, at least they sound the same to me. Is that a bit racist? I don't know. I don't like rich people. 18,000 hacked companies in the US and counting, Graham. That's from Kevin Haggerty? Haggerty. Yes! 18,000 companies! I'm the leader of the United States! This is a fucking act of war! Cyber warfare, the great game 2.0. And what does the mealy-mouthed, cunt-faced president of the United States say? Nothing. Just say that into the mic. Nothing. Because he's a cunt. Right, this is basically the sweary version of Hughes Round. I try not to swear during the day in case kids are listening, which isn't a problem most of the time because they're at school, aren't they? But that's why I don't understand why can't you swear on the radio during the day? They can in Australia. A funny thing in American TV shows, have you noticed this? They can't swear on terrestrial network television. So you'd have a really violent TV show like 24, in which Jack Bauer literally saw someone's motherfucking head off and then puts it on a table in plastic and goes, aha, severed head. But he can't say shit because that would be bad. He definitely can't drop the C-bomb. But you see this same thing in Saudi Arabia. I'll do the whole video. I could do a whole video. There's actually a good couple of episodes of Family Guy where they address this. There's so many things in America that are very similar to the way things are in Saudi Arabia. And there are many things in Saudi Arabia where Americans look at it and go, oh, I wish America was more like that. And it's really fucking weird. And one of the things is with the TV, which I noticed when I was in Saudi Arabia, they had these TV shows in which women's faces were blurred out because they couldn't show women. But they could show like as much violence as you possibly like. And they still have public executions. So if you want to take your kid to go and watch someone literally die, because honestly, that's not going to fuck them up forever, you can in Saudi Arabia, but you can't see a woman's face except for your sister and your mum. Graham, please tone down the language, otherwise you may be blocked by YouTube. Damn it. YouTube police. Okay, sorry. I'm just a bit angry. Christmas has been cancelled. If this show gets cancelled, that'd be really bad, wouldn't it? Then again, it does go out on lots of different platforms. YouTube's only one of them. All right, I won't say the C-bomb anymore. Possibly a different bias, Maximilian Robespierre stream on Tuesday. Graham, up for one next week. What? I don't really understand what you're saying there. Glasgow Kiss. Yes, if Robespierre wants to have a chat with me from Italy, they're in Italy, isn't he in Italy, I think? Please swear, Graham. That's from Tacky. So people saying don't swear, people saying swear. I don't know what to do. Trump has like 200 million quid given to him by all his supporters, a fund that he and his family can draw from. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. If someone wants to go over to rejoineu.uk and give a fiver, that would be great because it means that we can start marching against Brexit as soon as we are allowed. Well, marching to rejoin the EU. We are going to be a thorn in the side. A bloody big thorn. Like a thorn made up of millions of people who are really, really pissed off about the way this has turned out. And I think there's going to be a point where people who are better at this shit than I am, who are going to say, listen, right, to the Leavers, you were sold a dud. And we forgive you and give them a hug. I'm not going to do that. It's not my nature. I'm sorry. But other people will, and I'm sure they'll do a better job than I will, because I'll just be like, stupid bastard. So yeah, I wouldn't be the best person to do that. But if we can get people who voted to leave to join us to say we were duped. Sorry, we weren't duped. We knew exactly what was going on. We voted to remain, but the people who voted to leave, who still haven't realised that they were duped, I think they might, some of them, not all of them, some of them might work it out next year as things start going down the pan, so to speak. Saudi Arabia, what Brexiteers want the UK to be like? Yeah, Chubba, that's a really good point. Like, the Saudi Arabia, people say, oh yeah, no one robs cars in Saudi Arabia because they get their hands chopped off. And the people who usually say that are people who actually, if we lived in Saudi Arabia, would be dead by now. I'm not even kidding. Not because not because, I don't know, how would I put this? Don't be disrespectful to Saudi Arabia, but like they do murder people for having affairs. Hashtag just saying. Too many people who believe in free speech are charging. That's in Brexit. Are charging, yeah. Free speech. I believe in free speech, but there's got to be limits to it. Like, if you own all the newspapers in the fucking country, you shouldn't be allowed to just print whatever the shit you like without any repercussions for doing that. And you shouldn't be able to hack the telephone messages of a dead schoolgirl who's been murdered. I just don't think that should be allowed. I don't think they should be allowed to say the truth and then tell a load of lies about the 96 people who died at Hillsborough. Graham, please do the live chat with Phil and Max. Yes, okay, I will. So there's you're saying Taki, tell me more. So Phil does a different bias, and there's also a guy called Maximilian Robespierre, who's Italian, I think, and does videos talking about Brexit. So if we can all get together, I'm up for that. I'm up for that. They would just blame the EU and Remainers. Brexit is a cult. O'Brien was right on that one. Yeah, Jupp, you're absolutely right. It is a cult. It is a cult. And I've said this many times, so apologies if you heard this again, but it is, when you're just talking to someone who voted for Brexit and really believes, a true believer, TM, they always behave when you criticise Brexit. It's as though you're criticising someone they love. Someone they're absolutely infatuated with. Because Brexit and Trump, they fire off the same bits in people's brains as falling in love, having sex, and eating chocolate. And although that makes me want to fucking vomit, for other people, it's like it's their bread and butter. It's what gets them out of bed in the morning, is to get up and get down on their knees and worship their false idols, their false gods, their bullshit ideas. And unfortunately, this cult madness, which obviously has cost the lives of people who followed the Jim Jones's cult to Guyana, and it's cost the lives of people who were hounded to death by the mad Scientologists, which is a cult. And obviously the Moonies, weren't they responsible for a sarin attack on the Tokyo subway? Yeah, there's loads of these lunatics out there, and they are just true believers. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't reason with them. They're beyond reason, like the fucking Terminator. They will not stop until everything's shit. And they can't see what they're doing. And so when you're dealing with these people, you've got to sort of act like they're a good friend, and you're telling them that their wife or husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is a wrong one. You've got to use the same kid gloves. You can't go in all barreling, blah, you're fucking wrong, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. Like what I do. See, this is why I'm shit at it. I'm better at this because I just get to say whatever I think. Say whatever comes into my crazy ginger scouse head. Smash that like button, says Alex. Yes, if you can like, please like. The Brexiteers will never accept Brexit was a mistake. They'll just blame foreigners, Asians, the blacks. Will say something George Soros. That's a Marcy. Yeah, George Soros. Sit down with someone and say, who goes on about George Soros. Tell me about this George Soros guy then. You know, where was he born? What happened to him when he was a child? I mean, you know, how did he make his money? And why is he so evil? And they never have an answer for that. Because all they want to really say is because he's Jewish. He's Jewish, so he's evil. Because all conspiracy theories end with the Jews did it. Even conspiracy theories that have been sent to me by friends of mine who are fucking Jewish. And I've looked at it and gone, why the fuck are you sending me this? What is wrong with you? It literally, this ends with the Jews did it. And they're like, oh yeah, good point, Graham. I won't send you that again. And I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it always ends up with this idea of this international banking syndicate that rules the world. It's the Illuminati. It's the Rothschilds. It's the protocols of the elders of Zion. Oh God, I'm so fucking fed up of it. I've had it all my adult life. And the worst thing about these conspiracy theorists, they honestly believe they're the first person to ever tell you this conspiracy. They're the first person to go, well, did you know there was an extra shooter on the grassy knoll? You're like, wow, fuck me, I've never ever heard that before. That's fascinating. Or, you know, they're going, oh, did you know that Prince Philip really wanted Princess Diana dead? Okay. Yes, right, okay. So he thought that he'd murder her by slamming her into a wall at 70 miles an hour in Paris in an underpass, pursued by the paparazzi. That seems like a really shit way to assassinate someone to me. If I was in charge of assassinating a princess, I'd push her off a yacht. Literally. I would take her out on a yacht and push her off the yacht. No witnesses. No evidence. No body. Ta-da! Some might say that would be the perfect murder, but you certainly wouldn't do it in a world where you get pursued by paparazzi. And how much did they pay the chauffeur to kill himself? That's what I want to know. It's like, how much, what? We really need you to slam the Mercedes into this wall at 100 miles an hour and possibly die. But what if she wears a safety belt? Oh, and then all our plans fall apart. Shit. But yeah, every single conspiracy theorist goes along the same route. And there's this big merger at the moment, and I think it's always been there, on the far right and the far left. Now, there's a thing called the political spectrum. God, I'm mansplaining here like a bastard, aren't I? Political spectrum. You had the right, you had the left. Centre ground. The extreme centralists, as we like to be called. But it's not a spectrum, it's a circle. The more far right you get, the more far left you get, the more far left you get, the more far right you get. And they all meet up at the top here in conspiracy theory heaven, or hell, as I like to call it. But and all of these conspiracies come together. This idea that the whole world is run by wealthy Jewish bankers is a left-wing conspiracy theory. The right-wingers will use the same conspiracy theory. And they're like saying the same thing. And one of them's like, oh, I hate the Nazis. And you're like, why'd you sound like one then, you idiot? And then you've got the people who are like QAnon now, who are saying, we've got to stop the paedophiles. How do you stop the paedophiles? Well, what you do is you vote for this paedophile. I mean, this guy who definitely doesn't like paedophiles. Well, how come he hung around with Jeffrey Epstein then? Oh, no, he stopped hanging out with him in 2004. Oh, right, so he did hang out with him when Jeffrey Epstein was committing all the crimes that he went to jail for. Yeah. Oh, fascinating. Tell me more. But yeah, that's conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory mindset leads to anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers who can be on the right or on the left, and they both use the same fucking excuses. If someone is far-right homophobe, they'll say, I don't like gay people, they're unnatural. If someone's a far-left anti-vaxxer, they'll say, I don't like vaccines, they're unnatural. Like, saying something is unnatural is a good reason for not doing or doing something. I'm like, okay, so if you're not going to do anything that's unnatural, I assume you're never going to fly in a plane again. Because being shot through the sky at 700 miles an hour, 40,000 feet above the fucking surface of the earth in a tube, is pretty damn unnatural. It's about as unnatural as it gets. You're in a machine that is built from metal that has been carved out the ground and turned into this thing, and you're burning dead dinosaurs, the oil of dead dinosaurs, the juice of dead dinosaurs. That's so unnatural. Brushing your teeth is unnatural. Jesus, get with the program. Anyway, back to your messages. Looks like you've had hair in the same time and you're bald. It's like England's affliction to Europe. Affliction? Is that the right word? I don't know. No, I need a haircut. And I would have gone for a haircut at some point, but we've been in lockdown, so I haven't been able to. So, sorry, you're going to have to deal with my hair that's sort of there, but sort of not there at the same time. Maybe I should start wearing my hat again, but it does feel a bit weird wearing a hat indoors. It's not a circle. The far right is the polar opposite to the far left. That's from Jupp. Why do they act the same? I'm going to take Jupp up on this, right? So, what was very different about Stalinist Russia, which is apparently hard left, and Hitler's Germany? They both screwed over the working classes. They both lived in absolute opulence if you were in the privileged political classes. They both oppressed people left, right and centre, whether it was the Jews or whether it was the Cossacks. Yeah, I see huge differences. Actually, I mean, a lot of the people who supported Jeremy Corbyn, who thought he was the absolute bee's knees, again, getting up in the morning so you can get on your knees and go and worship someone. I don't. I'm an atheist. I don't believe any of this shit. And if you're going to try and do something, you've got to impress me. Okay, that's the first thing you've got to do. You've got to impress me. You can't just turn up. You can't just turn up and be... someone whispers in me, Graham, this guy's really amazing. And I'm like, oh, wow, well, I think he's amazing too then, just because you've said he's amazing. No, I need to see something that proves to me that that person is amazing, or that TV show is amazing, or the film, or the music, or whatever it is. You've got to show me. Show me it's amazing. And then I'll go, yeah, okay. I'll take that. But the people on the far left, the people on the far right, they don't. They just go off on their own mad, delusional quests to worship some horrible person who probably doesn't have their best interests at heart. Or, at the very least, is very boring. Graham, 2 words, buzz cut, it's liberating. Yes. The thing is, I've got a beard trimmer, right? I've got a beard trimmer and I'm a bit scared to use it on my head in case it just goes horribly wrong and I look like I've just escaped from like an old worldly mental asylum of the 1920s. I don't want to do that just in case. But I might have to. I don't know how long this lockdown's going to last for. Read a new European article suggesting 1990 conspiracy films have messed with a generation's heads. Well, no, JFK? Literally, there was a movie called Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson, who then went on to get drunk, fall out of a car, and claim that Jews caused all the wars in the world. So, yeah, maybe, but I don't think that was the sort of gammon generation who have been most prevalent in voting for Brexit and Trump. I'm not saying that everyone who is that age voted for Brexit and Trump. I'm just saying that the majority of people who are over the age of 60 voted for Brexit and Trump. The people who voted. Why no one in the West speaks? Many million of East Central Europeans were murdered by the Bolsheviks communists that England helped during World War II. I forgot England and the USSR were crime buddies. That's from BCA. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But, I mean, at the time, it was justified because we were fighting Nazi Germany. And we saw Nazi Germany as a bigger threat. And I think that everyone in the Allies knew that Stalin was bad news. But it was the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And it screwed over millions of people. And don't forget, it didn't just end at the end of World War II. It went on. It went on till the fall of the Berlin Wall. I think what's even more insulting is the fact that you have these dickhead British politicians now calling the EU the EU-SSR. The EU-SSR. Can you believe this? They said that to Latvia and Estonia and Lithuania, who suffered so much when they were part of the USSR against their fucking will. Yeah, great. Not communist, lol. Sent you an email, Graham. Ooh, I got an email. Sugar-free lol. I give an example. What about workers of the country unite and then go further left and you end up killing the Jews? Well, yeah, I don't know why the left in the UK seem to have such a problem with Jewish people. Like, I've spoken to people myself, so this isn't just going from the data. This is talking to people myself who honestly do believe that Jewish people are inherently bad people for whatever reason. And they consider themselves left-wing. They consider themselves progressive. But then you get people who consider themselves progressive. You get people who consider themselves centralists who are incredibly transphobic. And you're like, what? Why do you pick on this group? Why go after them? You know, surely we can all get together and go after the people in charge of the country who are actually making our lives a misery. But no, for some reason, there was a good subsect of people who supported Jeremy Corbyn who really don't like Jews. Get a couple of drinks inside them. Ask them. I've done it. They really don't like Jews. I'm sorry. I wish they did. Because it feels to me like a betrayal of the left, and it ruins it all for everybody. Because the right can just turn around and go, look at you. You people are just as bad as we are, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be pointed at. I don't want people to say you're just as bad as the people on the right. They were quite evidently worse. By the way, I'm not talking about Antifa here or Antifa. I'm talking about actual people who are anti-Semitic on the left, okay? It is just a subsect. It's a minority. There's not that many people who are this way, but there are people who are that way. I'm not talking about people who turn up to rallies against the fascists. No, they're fine with me. From my own point of view, everyone deserves their own political views. However, stupidness is overwhelming in every country. Every country is my Twitter handle. Are you talking about me? When will it end? EU-SSR grown. Yeah, I know. EU-SSR have killed how many? They own a gun. What nonsense. Well, absolutely. David Icke is the biggest conspiracy pusher and influencer in the UK, in my opinion. Yeah, David Icke, who famously thinks that the royal family are lizards. Well, I guess he's half right. But no, I think they're probably humans who are just born into incredible wealth and privilege. But the thing is about these people who, like Alex Jones and David Icke, conspiracy theories, being a professional conspiracy theorist is incredibly lucrative. You can make millions. I could make millions. If I was an arsehole, but if I was more of an arsehole, I could just make these videos, right? Not for you people. Not for you people watching now, but for arseholes. I can make videos where I just went, go off on one about whatever. And I could make it very, very plausible what I'm coming out with. I know enough about the world to just put in those couple of seeds of truth in the banquet of lies that I'm telling people to go, yeah, I think he's onto something there. And I make loads of money out of it. I make an absolute bloody fortune out of it. But, that's not me. I can't do that. I won't do that. I just think people who do that, if there was a hell, they'll burn in it. We don't but Palestine, says Sue Ward. But Palestine. Look, I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not anti-Palestine. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm pro-peace. That's it. Okay? If you put me in charge, I will get the two parties to sit down and discuss how they were going to make peace. A roadmap for peace. And the Israeli incursion into Palestinian areas and the Palestinian rocket attacks on Israel, which they used then to justify the incursion into Palestinian areas. If you pick one side over the other, the violence just continues in a perpetual cycle for another 100 fucking years. And I don't want that. I want them to sit down in a room and we can broker it. We could do that. Britain could do that. The EU could do it. The NATO could do it. The UN could do it. But they don't. They pick a side. They go, we're on Israel's side. Oh, on Palestine's side. No. Same in Pakistan and India. Don't pick a side. Pick the side of peace. Maybe, I don't know, ask the people of Kashmir what they want. No one's thought of that, have they? Well, some people have, but they're not in charge. Wash your hands. Thanks for the great show. And then on the right time. Yes. Right, okay, before I go, you can't compare Israel. See, I definitely shouldn't do this 2 minutes after I'm supposed to have finished the show. I like the euro too. The euro is on the back of it. It's got like places that they're like French places around the world that have the euro, and one of them's French Guiana in northern South America, and it's really cute. So check that out. It's a little Easter egg there. Sleep well, everyone, says Plum Duff. I've just put the link up again. It's come up as restream.io. I'm going to have to suss out some way of being able to change my name on this so it actually comes up as Graham. So you know who it was. But yeah, if after watching this, if you would like to head over to rejoineu.uk, if you're interested in getting involved in a march next year, I'm very interested in making it happen. Yeah, obviously, if we don't get any money, we can do a little bit, but the more money we get, the more stuff we can do. And hopefully get the attention of someone in power or someone who, I don't know, listens to people. I don't know if anyone listens to people. Anyway, GPan62 says, it's only 3 p.m. here. Crack out the beers. Britain's under quarantine. Right. Before I go, it's the horseshoe theory, Graham. The far right and the far left almost meet as the end of the horseshoe when bent. Hence the pillock, George Galloway cozying up to Nigel Farage and Steve Bannon. The freckle puny, you are absolutely right. Gaz is saying, please have a march in Liverpool. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that for Liverpool and independence, marching for a Brexit-free city. But yeah, we'll. Gaz, one of the things I'm thinking is that we need to keep on, and we can't go down to London every week. But what we can do is every weekend make sure that at least in one place in the northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest, there's something going on, and we need to work together to make this actually happen. Before I go, since you're all awesome, I just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon community that have really come together to make this happen. I want to say thank you to Daffyd for making this amazing microphone that's picking up my voice a lot better than my little clip mic did. Make that happen. I really, really, really appreciate it. If you're not one of my Patreon supporters, it's only a few quid a month just to keep me on the air effectively. I'm planning to do this for as long as it takes, or until my girlfriend kills me. One of the two. But if you want to pop over to my Patreon account, I've just posted the thing. I'm going to try and point to it. There. That's brilliant. Oh no, it's moved. There. That's my Patreon account, /that Ginger Scouser. And if you want to throw a few pounds in the pot, I would really, really, really appreciate it. With the rejoineu.uk website, obviously it went live. I don't mean obviously, but it went live literally 5 minutes before I came on air. So if there's some mistakes on it or anything you notice, there's a form at the bottom of the front page. Fill it in, let me know, and I'll change it tomorrow. Graham, does it say your name when you write? No, it says restream.io. Daffyd, I'm going to sort that out. Don't worry, it's on my list. There's so many things on my list. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm very sorry that Boris Johnson ruined Christmas by basically saying we could have Christmas when we didn't think that we could. And then once we'd made all of our arrangements, he then turned around and went, no, you can't have Christmas. Boris Johnson did this because he's a terrible, terrible cunt. And on that note, I'm going to say, hello, good evening, welcome.